everybody, it's Michelle Angelique, and we are live, right? Right? It's Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. And today's topic, before I get into it, I'm going to go over a couple other things, but today's topic is going to be what it means to go within. We all hear that all the time, but nobody gives us a very direct, specific answer to what the fuck that means. Like what does it mean to go within? Where is that location? Like, what are the steps I need to take to actually get to this place, right? That everybody talks about, but nobody ever seems to pinpoint and be able to touch that. That X marks the spot is right there. I went through an experience this last week on a dating app that woke me up to that, right? Along with something that happened at the gym, put those two things together, bada bing, bada boom. I got an answer. Answer for all the shit I've been through for these past 7 years, but 4 very hard years at the end of those 7 years of loneliness and solitude, uh, betrayal, all of that hardship, poverty. So I didn't know that this answer comes from that if you know how to find it, right? And so I want to share with you guys what I experienced this last week. And because it matters, right? It's to help us not have to go through pain and suffering to get these simple answers. The really simple answers that we can teach our children so they don't have to go through all this pain and suffering. Wise men, teachers, I want to say wise women, right? But I never hear women talking about this. You always hear a guru who's always a man. It's time women start teaching these things from a woman's perspective, because you got to go in real deep to understand what I'm going to express, right? What I'm going to share. It's real simple when we look at it, but I had to go in real deep to be able to recognize. I should say, I didn't have to go in real deep. I had to get my ass whooped real hard. I had to be broken down so many times to recognize what's actually going on, right? That and what happened on this dating app that woke me up to it. Before I get started, give people time to jump on, right? Before I get into the talk, I'm going to show you guys what I'm drinking, because as I'm drinking it, you're going to be wondering what it is. And this is my sangria mix. You can make sangria, which is red wine on ice with different combination of fruit flavors, cinnamon. Depends on how you make it, right? Your recipe on how you make it. There's a real simple one. I'm not going to give you specifics of how much of everything I did because I did a free pour. I'll have to eventually get that where it's measured out so it has a specific taste and it's exact every time. And when I get my online, Food, Sex, and Harmony, I'll have a recipe for this, right? But just pretty much basic. It's red wine, ice, on ice. It's Saigon cinnamon. Saigon cinnamon has the strongest cinnamon flavor and taste, besides all the properties that it has. It's sweetened with blue agave syrup, and what it has is something in Mexico we call tepache, right? It is fermented pineapple juice is what it is, right? That fermentation is what helps fix up the intestines. I have to show you guys how to make that on another day, but in Mexico we call it tepache, but it's also an alcoholic beverage. On the light side of alcohol, fixes your intestines, super nutritious, has a ton of nutrients. And what else has it got? I put 4 frozen black cherries. So even though I do things to help and improve my health, I make sure that I enjoy, I enjoy the time that I take to put into myself. I thought I'd share that with you guys, right? Wednesday is my only day off, so you best believe I'm gonna have some wine or some brandy, but today's gonna be wine. All right. I hope everybody can hear me okay. My friend Lourdes said she can't hear me. I don't have a mic set up. I do need to get a mic set up. I'm going to raise my voice because of it. I hope it's helpful in some kind of way. Anybody who is on here, if there is anybody on here, if you can let me know if you can hear me, please. That'll be, if I'm coming in loud and clear, that'll be helpful to me. Let me make sure I'm checking my volume right here. All right. Should be all good. Okay. So, how to seek within, right? How we do that? Everybody tells us it's a place we gotta go, yet I got no location. It's something we gotta go through, but we don't know what those steps are. So how are we supposed to get somewhere we can't see? So I wrote a couple things down to make sure I don't get off track. But the reason we have to find ourselves is because something's fucking lost. Something that's supposed to be there is not there no more, and it needs to come back, right? We need to get it back for shit to work right in our life, because or else nobody would tell us repetitively for so many thousands of years that you gotta seek within. It's like, oh shit, where is this within? Because I lost something, and I ain't gonna be whole until I find it, right? So we lose power as children, right? And this power that we lose is power of the soul. So we teach our children how to have power and force in their body and in their jobs and all the material that they gain and wealth, but we don't teach them nothing about power of the soul. So the soul is the original power on the subatomical level, meaning the one you can't see, like on your cell phone. It's all the invisible shit that connectivity. And then you have the physical phone, right? That's just an example of expression of how important the invisible is first, and then it goes into the physical matter, right? Which is the body. But we're only taught about physical matter and about what we're supposed to have and obtain and what shows who we are because of what we've accumulated, right? But we got no one teaching us about power of the soul that we gain as children, but actually we've lost it as children. We're supposed to gain it as we nurture our children. We're supposed to let them know they have a soul, right? So we've gone through this hardship in our existence of mankind. I'm not talking about my life. I'm talking about the existence of mankind. It's gone through this hardship and this seeking, always seeking this wisdom they can't find. It's the soul has lacked power because it was taken away because we were not loved as children. There was abandonment as children. There's humiliation as children. We were not treated correctly as children. So we lose all these things, right? And then all we want to do is obtain strength through all the things that can be accumulated to show my power and my strength, because I fucking lost something on my way to adulthood, right? And we have relationships like this. And then that's relationship in our business, relationship with our husbands or our wives, right? Relationship with our children. And it's all fucked up because it's only based, I shouldn't say it's fucked up. It's all unbalanced because it's only based in the physical material, right? Physical material, where we forgot about the power of the soul, which is on a subatomical level, which the mind projects and has real power, because everything comes after that. Think it and then perceive it and then create it. So that's the power of man, right? The power of his mind to create. So let me tell you how I came to understand this was what was going on, and this is what we have to obtain, is that self-worthiness, that self-worth, that self-appreciation, that self-respect that we didn't get as children because that shit was smacked the fuck out of us or never shown to us. You know, there's all kinds of different ways we didn't obtain it, but the fact that it's not there, we go looking for it as adults and we can't find this missing love aspect that we can't seem to achieve, right? We can't seem to find or obtain, no matter how much money we've acquired in our lives. There's something missing, and that's that soul strength, that soul power, that self-worth. I don't use the word self-love. because it's misused, right? It's misused. Of course, we love ourselves. So you tell somebody they gotta love themselves. Like, motherfucker, how you think I don't love myself? Of course, I love myself. We have some level of love for ourselves. So that's the incorrect way of saying it. It's we lost power as children and we don't recognize it. And so when we go into our relationships and we try to convince somebody and we overgive because we need their love, is because we needed that love from that parent. Or if we mistreat everybody or anybody that comes in our way, I'm showing extreme ways of how relationships come out because either we're over givers or we're super fucking takers. We take everything from people to obtain what we feel is power, right? And we're crushing and demolishing everybody around us because we feel we're going to lose something. So everywhere we can take it, we do take it. And so we're on either level or either side, I should say, of an overgiver, which I was an overgiver, right? I was an overgiver, always looking for love and always was trying to find how to get love, and well, I must have not given enough, But that's a child behavior. That's how children behave. But we're behaving like this as adults, and we find it to be normal because we've never not known it. And that's just one aspect of the problems that we have as adults, and why we can't make our own personal life as an individual alone better. Like why we can't be alone and why it's hard to be alone. I had to be alone for 7 years to know how to obtain self-worth and strength in who I am, no matter how impoverished, sleeping on the concrete and working 40 hours a week, how much strength I have as an individual, that nobody's words can break me because of what they have or what I don't have. But that shit didn't come easy. I had to observe myself. I had to observe the circumstances around me to be able to recognize the dynamics of what's going on how to find within. Give me 1 second. So I hope you guys can hear what I'm saying because nothing looks like it's working over here. Hey, I see you, Chuck. What's up, that pink hand, Chuck? Thank you. Chuck, can you guys hear me? You're like the only one who's consistently always here, and I can count on that pink hand. Thank you, Chuck, for that. Can you hear me, Chuck? Am I loud and clear? So, Syndrome, my name is Jane Patagule. I'm so bad with names. Jane Patagule. Let me know if I pronounce that right. All right. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure that I got things working. My screen's not working on here for some reason. So I can't read down here what I see up here. I'm trying to read down here. Chuck, can you hear me loud and clear? Because I'm about to get into this story. What just happened to me this past week to make me recognize the power within. How much power that really has. Okay, perfect. You said yep. That part, thank you. Thank you, Chuck. It doesn't show on my phone, but it showed right down here. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to tell you about a dating app experience, or experience I had on a dating app, right? With this really good looking guy. Really well put together. And then an experience I just had yesterday at the gym that combined everything together to get me to where I'm at right now, right? The awareness I got from all the shit that I just been through to lead me to my understanding right now. Oh, I need a new computer. I need a new computer because this Mama Jamma's not showing me nothing. It keeps fading. All right, let me do my best right here. So I'm on this dating app, right? I'm on a couple of dating apps and I just haven't found the one, right? Because I'm going in for a life long partnership. I'm not looking for dating. I ain't got no time to be wasted. I know what I'm looking for, and if I don't see it and there's a red flag, it's like cut that off. I waste no time, right? This gentleman looked really well put together on paper. We actually do a little live chat. We're talking, but before we even get started, he's already showing me all his motorcycles and his cars and his big house. He's showing me stuff, right? And so I'm just like, oh, it's a materialistic guy because I haven't even talked to him, but he's showing me all the things that he got. That's a man's way of showing that I can't provide, right? So I let it play because I know that's a man thing. But then it went too fucking far. I didn't cut him off. He cut me off. He's like, goodbye, which is cool, But it helped me become aware of how much power I have in my poverty. Well, things are getting better now because I ain't sleeping outside, right? But for the simple things that I have, we'll put it like that, right? Because I appreciate all the little things that I have and that I collected. This shit makes me happy. Little twinkle lights here, little pretty smell there. I like putting things, pieces together and making my environment nice, right? But this motherfucker, don't get me wrong, this guy was very, very good looking. So he could say what, and he had a lot of money. It showed he had a lot of money. And he was an ex-professional fighter. He was in private security, and things were looking like things were in common until things were not in common. And that's our level of worth. That's what I recognize. Our level of self-worth is what I recognize we don't have in common. If this man, with all of the things that he showed me that he has collected and is of high value, right? Monetary wealth is high value. If he were to lose all those things, he'd be a very weak man in his mind because his soul would break the fuck down because he put all his self-worth in the items that he has that shows what his value is, right? How much he's worth and how important he is. So I'm not going to sit there and argue with him about it, but this is just something I was observing when he cut me the fuck off. So he's telling me how he works with private security and some big names out here in Arizona, and how he was hired for something that has to do with the homeless, right? I didn't get into what aspect of higher security and homeless, what aspects he was talking about, but I said, wow, me and you like are on the opposite side of that same page. I said, I used to be homeless. Boom, that was enough to be like, what? See, I'm not a drug addict. I wasn't a drug addict homeless. I was, my circumstances were so fucked up that it ended me up being homeless, right, while working. So when he asked me, well, why were you homeless? I couldn't give him a fucking answer. I was like, oh shit, I've been homeless so many fucking times. And for those of you who follow me on my YouTube, no, I've been homeless one too many fucking times. One circumstance after the next circumstance, right? So I couldn't answer him. And then all I could say, well, that's a long story. That's all I could say is that's a long story. And that wasn't good enough for him, which I understand. He probably thought I was a crackhead or some, what he's used to or what people are used to understanding homelessness is, right? So he was just like, oh yeah, I gotta go. Boom, click, hung up. That was it. So, did my feelings get hurt? No. Why? Because we're not compatible. I can't live with somebody or live with a person for the rest of my life that cares about material things to what other people find as valuable. I have to be with somebody who's as self-worth, should say self-worthy, right? Because I'm self-worthy of myself, that what I believe in, how my mind is formed, that even if I have nothing, nothing breaks down that sense of self-worth because I put all the value into me and the strength that I have in my mind and in my heart to maintain against all odds. All odds. can take everything from me because it's been taken away from me multiple times to reduce me to my nuts and bolts, all the way down to my bare fucking bones, to what am I made of? I'm made of mental strength is what I'm made of. But I couldn't find that unless I was reduced, right? Reduced into these levels of nothingness to have to face what do I have left of me, right? So I'm gonna circle right back into that, right? Self-worth, self-value, self-respect, self-appreciation, self-admiration for the shit that we've lived through, and we gotta pat ourselves on the fucking back because nobody else is gonna, because nobody else sees self-worth or the value of what you went through, because nobody's fucking there to be with you to see all the shit you went through and came up out of, except yourself. So you got to give yourself that self, damn girl, you fucking made it again and again and again and again, right? Once again, I will tell you, it's so good. I say it's so good, is I'm doing myself a favor, fixing myself up, and meaning fixing my body up with something that not only tastes delicious but makes you feel really good. Thank God for wine. I will say that. All right. So I'm at the gym. So I'm putting these pieces together, right, to make this video today. I didn't know what's gonna, but that's what ended up coming out. I'm at the gym, and I'm hitting that bag now, right? Just really laying in them shots in that bag, and then my body just like stops, like a hard red light, just like, just stop. And I'm fucking like a deer in the headlights, right? I'm just like, all I can see is all of my life, not just this 7-year hardship and 4-year homelessness shit, and I mean way back. I'm looking far back, that everything I've ever done, I've never achieved. Everything I set forth to make happen, never followed through to have a result at the end, right? To say, ooh, successful, right? You made something happen for what you mentalized out there, right? I always got to the very end and never to the finish. I always got to the very end and never to the finish. All of that shit's rushing through my mind. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't even get myself back on the clock, because we got 3 minutes, everybody's moving, and the coach can see if you stop, right? But I'm just like deer in the headlights. And I'm just like, something's up, because I can't push forward. Like, I want to walk the fuck out of here and just leave. And that's not normal to me. That's just not fucking normal. So I'm just like, what's up? Because I already know where I've been. I know the strength that I have because I've been there and been able to come up out of it. Why is this shit affecting me right here, right now? And I was like, push through, mentalize, override this shit, and just hit this fucking bag, Michelle. And when you go home, go find out what the fuck is in the field, because it's affecting me right now. It's hitting me hard as fuck. And I did find out what's happening in the field. I'm going to share that at the end, right? Because I told you guys I was going to tell you every week what's going on in the energy field. Well, I didn't feel, or no, I should say, this one was coming. I knew it was coming, but I didn't recognize how hard it was going to hit, where I just wanted to walk out of the gym and just stop boxing, right? Because I felt like it's pointless. All the effort that I put in, what's it for? It goes nowhere. So don't put in the effort. That's how I felt, right? And the reason I'm putting it together with this guy that from this dating app and that experience is our self-worth that we have to accumulate in our soul is like working a muscle, right? You don't just get muscle. You have to work that muscle. You have to do something to make that muscle stimulate and activate, and then it stays with you. Then it becomes part of you, like riding a bicycle. You haven't ridden it for a long time, but that's okay. You've already ridden it, so when you get back on, it's just like, right? You just coast. the soul works the same way. Once you start working on it, which we should be teaching our children, the importance of their soul having self-worth, self-appreciation, self-respect, self-acknowledgement that the soul is actually there and it has multiple functions that's besides and outside of the five uh, senses that we're told we only have, right? That the child won't feel like they've lost something because they're whole and they're complete. They're both sides of the same coin, right? Right now we're just a one-sided coin where everything's physicality and nothing is mentality. From the aspect of how to build the soul is through the mind. So I had to lose everything to recognize that what we lose and to go find yourself within is like what these Shaolin monks do. Are you familiar with Shaolin monks? They give up all their property, they give up all their material that they have, they wear basic robes, and they live humble lives, and they train and put the body through hell consciously. And they have to put the body through hell so the mind can override. Well, my body and my mind has been through hell to make me override, not recognizing that this is what it has brought me to, is to look within, because everything outside of me has been stripped away, and so much pressure of abandonment issues, of lack of self-worth issues by not having anything and having to sleep outside while working, right? All of those things start hitting when you don't have anything. And so what do we do when we get there is we recognize that it's an exercise for the soul. It's an exercise that's necessary for the soul because of the way we've been raised in this world, in this society. That what you have is what makes you, instead of the worth and value of yourself is what makes you. And no words by no demon, no devil, or no negative individual can break you, because the words just fall right off of you because of the value and the strength that you have. So can you imagine if I'm with this man whose self-worth is in his tennis shoes and all his motorcycles and his car, and he loses that. Well, he's just a weak, pathetic fucking man standing next to me, and I need a man standing next to me. So against all odds, well, we ain't got shit, we can get shit done because we don't got to go through the mental fucking breakdown that he's going through and can't recover from. So it looks like I'm gonna be single for a long fucking time. That's the end result of that. Looks like I'm gonna be single for a long fucking time. Because it takes a man who is willing to learn self-worth, having nothing, or who already knows self-worth, having nothing. And it's hard to find human beings like that, much less just a man, right? I'm saying these things because our world's about to go through a devastation when it comes to what's the right words? Poverty. We're going through World War III. A lot of people think that's not happening, but that's moving forward. And it's going to bring a lot of destitute to a lot of people, and they're not going to have self-worth because they're going to lose everything that they're used to because they put all their value of themselves into those things. And when those things are gone, their soul crumbles. When it's recognizing that system was set up so they don't recognize the power of the soul and the mind, that even if you take everything from me, my mind is the one that's connected to my heart, and my heart doesn't need to have anything to maintain it except for the love and self-worth that I have for myself, having nothing. And you have to have nothing to find that out. You have to be broken down. And how I was broken down, and I recognize I didn't explain it in this video, was the reason I couldn't tell that man on that dating app, right? And the answer is because I had to sit back and look at, like, well, what happened to me so many times that I would become homeless that many fucking times. And it was betrayal. I was betrayed every single time I became homeless. by those who stated they loved me, by those who I recognized loved me. And the betrayal was the part that landed me where now I don't have any place to stay because I counted on this individual, be it my one of my ex boxing coaches, be it somebody that I used to love, that I had deep feelings for. Well, he was loving somebody else. That landed me outside. My cousin, who's my family, right? That landed me outside. Just, it's not what we expect. This world is not what we expect it to be, right? It's not the white picket fence and grow up and have all the things to make me feel important. Go out and have barbecues on the weekends with your family and your children. That's not what this world's made up of. This world's made up to break you down, and so we have to rise up and counter it. It's set up to break us down. It's structured to break us down. It don't have to be like that, but that's how it's structured. And so what I'm showing you is how I had to counter the energy that's in the field, because I started this video wrong. I should have told you the energy that's in the field, right? And why I had such a difficult time yesterday. And why it put me like in a deer in the headlights, even though I already know my self-worth, even though I don't have a problem with where I've been anymore, right? Even though I have resolved, why am I going through this right now? Right now, the energy is so intense that self-worth is on the line. And so that's why I went like a deer in the headlights and looked at all of my past and I was like, fuck, I'm nothing. And I'm just like, yeah, but I already fucking know that. I take pride on being nothing. I fucking take pride. I'm nothing, motherfucker. Let me see how you're gonna take that shit away from me. Because you can't. Because it took me to be fucking nothing to recognize myself, value, how fucking strong I am. Not just in my body, in my mind. Which is how you reinforce the soul, right? The soul. I had to write this down so I can remember what's in the field. Because when I came home yesterday, I was just like, what the fuck is in the field? For me to be that, feeling that fucking broken. And right now, we got emotions are high and they can be out of control. Obviously, right? Uh, Feeling a sense of failure and doubt. That's just running high right now. We're coming out of old patterns into new patterns, and it can take us into an unexpected direction, right? Unexpected direction meaning we can't see that shit coming, and we got to be able to roll with them punches so that we don't stay down and we can roll out of it and keep moving forward. Meaning things ain't going the way we expect them to be. They're already directed. Our life paths are already directed, and we don't see this coming. When I say we don't see this coming, it's like I don't know what direction my life is going in anymore. What I thought I was gonna be doing, going in that bare knuckle stage and showing what you can do at 51 years old because of the nutrients, that we don't have to age, and I wanted to go show that. That didn't come out. And I put a lot of years into that. A lot of physical, hard work, effort, right? And now it's not happening. Now I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what the next step is in my life. That's the unexpected. That's the shit that's hard to fucking roll with. And so we don't recognize how things are going to work out in our plan that we have for us. All I can recognize is I don't know no more. I don't fucking know no more. I don't try to know no more because I don't seem to succeed at it when I think that I do. And so we're becoming aware of new ways and inspirations. We're getting sudden senses of inspiration and sudden surprises. I'm going to put a link to what I listened to yesterday. They gave a 4-year back plan, a 4-year back realization of what has transpired since 2020 to today, 2024, that just keeps molding us out of the old and into the new, out of the old and into the new, so that we have a refined level of who we are becoming and what we're meant to step into from who we were into who we are, right? And that shit hit me so hard I wanted to walk out of the gym. That's not typical for me ever. It's not even a thought in my mind, but yet I had it yesterday. And be it the energy in the field, that makes sense to me now. So I can take that weight off of me and recognize I'm not just feeling this. Many are feeling this. And when I say many, it depends on what our birth chart has organized on. When I talk about this, it's we're in a machine. And because we're in a machine, these planets, moon, the sun, work like cogs in a machine, and it projects information in the field, and we're affected by that information. And so bobbing and weaving through this information is so that we don't get hit hard in the face and take ourselves 3 steps backwards every fucking time we get hit with feelings that are projected on a massive scale, global scale, right? I was supposed to start the video with that information first so that everything else I said will make some sense. Forgive me, I'm gonna get better at what I'm doing, right? I'm gonna get more organized on what I'm doing. But all of this is to direct us into the direction we're meant to be in for our greater good. It's just never what we plan for, right? And so that's why it takes us out of our comfort zone. It don't feel good, but in the end, it's needed to happen so that we can get to where our soul wants to go, and that's happiness, right? Happiness. We're made for happiness. That's what mankind's made for. And seems to fucking be hard to get to. Hard to get to. So the most important thing I wanted to get out of this and to make sure that people take home something is when we're told to seek and find yourself, it's who are you at the reduced point in your life where you don't own a single thing but hold yourself in high regards, where you value yourself with a potato sack on, meaning you don't have a designer anything on. This guy that I was on this dating app with, this guy took a picture of his tennis shoes and posted it. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. Now I do. Now I know those tennis shoes must have been worth a lot of money, where he felt he needed to fucking post that shit and show who he's worth or what he's worth. I didn't get it then. I get it now. Don't swipe. What is it? Don't swipe right when somebody takes a picture of the fucking tennis shoes, unless you're a gold digger, right? If you're a gold digger, then that's fucking perfect. Match made in your happy place, but that's not mine. So to seek within without having to go suffer, being a Shaolin monk and having to give everything up and put yourself, your body through extreme pains of tolerance to see how far your mind can go. It's just recognizing that the value I put in myself has to be in myself, and not in an arrogant way. It's a way of, I care about myself, and the people around me also must care about me. If not, I gotta cut them off because it's damage to my system. It's damage to my system. And we allow that damage because that damage comes from our childhood. So that damage from our childhood has to get healed for us to be healthy adults in a healthy relationship, be it with our children, be it with our mate, be it in our business. We have to go back and we have to look at what we lost as children so that we can find the value as adults that we were supposed to have, right? We're supposed to grow up with that value. Just know you matter. No matter how many times somebody told you you didn't matter, or told you were fat, or told you were ugly, or all the evil, negative words that bring us down as children, we got to go back and we have to make the mental recognition of it. That's where my problem's coming from. Because if we don't, we continue in the same grown-up cycle of unhappiness, of not finding our self-worth and our self-value. I hope that mattered. I hope it helped. But to seek within is that seeking the power we lost as children. It has nothing to do with anything else, because when that the soul grows in strength, material doesn't matter. But when the material comes, it's a bonus. It's an extra on top of the pillar of strength that we've become and we renewed into, and then we teach that to our children, and then it's never lost because it's planted at seed, right? And so we teach our children the importance of their self-worth and self-value, self-honor, self-respect, self-care. You know, forgiveness plays a huge role in this, because if we don't forgive, our mental neurology stays stuck on a wiring. And to change that wiring, we have to forgive. And it doesn't matter if you never tell the person you forgive them, or have to talk to the person that you feel that forgiveness connection has to happen, right? Be it your mother, your lover, break up with your children. It doesn't matter what it is. That forgiveness, if we don't heal that within ourselves, our neurology, our neurological patterns don't change. It takes 21 days is what I found out. 21 days for real neurological pathways to form, to accept forgiveness, and it free flows to you. It doesn't hurt. Right now it hurts. It feels like somebody's fucking electrocuting you when you think about having to forgive somebody. It just fucking makes you mad. You know, having to forgive those who you call your enemies. I pray for my enemies. I pray that God gives them the eyes to see, and Michael help them with the courage they're going to need when they do, because they're going to fucking want to die inside. That's how it feels, right? The soul feels like it wants to die. But now I need to know how to help myself forgive, because that's just hard. And so I have to tell myself before I go to bed, because that's when those pathways start, right? When you tell yourself before you go to bed, I have to forgive this person. Help me. God, help me forgive this person. And then literally in 21 days, you get a new neurological pathway that builds. If I can find the video on the data on that, I'll post it in the links down here, right? Or not in the links. I'll post the link in the, what is this? Description section, right? And when I saw the neurological pathways actually forming, but it takes 21 days of this new habit of telling yourself you're going to forgive somebody, even though it hurts to fucking say it becomes easier after those 21 days. And then you're free. I'm free. What I'm saying is, I'm free of the pain that I have, of this block of being mad at the motherfucker that hurt me, you know. When I say betrayal, I went through a lot of betrayal to make me homeless. Like showing me who I got in front of me, you know, showing me how to put up boundaries, showing me how to say, no, the words that are coming out of your mouth, I can see they're going to cause me a negative effect. I got to cut you off. That's simple. That's how simple it is for me now, right? But it wasn't before, because I kept seeking love. I kept needing love because I needed love as a kid, because I was abandoned. Right? I was abandoned since childbirth. I was dropped off somewhere. I didn't know this until I was much older, much older. But yeah, it all has to do with their childhood wounds. You want to seek within? Go seek your childhood. Fix that shit. And they create new neurological pathways, because you're gonna hate a lot of motherfuckers when you do go find out, you know, your past and your childhood. They coincide together. Let's see what time it is. We got 15 minutes. So my screen never showed that I have anybody here. That's probably because I don't have nobody here. That's all right. That's all. Oh, I got 3 thumbs up and I got 3 people. You matter. Chuck, I'm so glad you're always there. And Mr. Syndrome, Hello. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Mm. I didn't know I was gonna get over that one so quickly. I'm gonna see if anybody got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Right now is a good time because I only got 15 minutes left. Yeah, we have two kinds of powers. We have physical power and we have non-physical power. So the non-physical is the subatomical, the electrical aspect of ourselves, the soul part of what makes this physical body, function. Because when our physical body is done working, our soul moves out, and you have to experience that to know that that's real. Uh, so it's not a belief; it's a knowing. As far as coming from me, right? Coming from me. Other people say that's what they believe or don't believe. This is what I know because this is what I've experienced. So to build the soul is to seek within. When you seek within, you're actually working it like a muscle, except that the soul, you're working the soul like a muscle to become more strong, more resilient, more tolerant, uh, more non-affected by what the material world uh, has brought on to us. When I say the material world has brought on to us, is we have only been structured to pay attention to physicality, and everything else is not real. But again, I explained this on other videos. We're led by Canaanites, and Canaanites never want mankind to know what it's made up of because it's superior to all the other shit that's running our show. Superior to Canaanites because Canaanites are creature kind in man's body. Creature kind running through man's body. And when we get power and strength developed in the soul, and then we start teaching this to our children, because we already know how to get power and strength in the body. We already know how to get power and strength through material gain. We already know how to do that. We don't know how to work the soul, and the soul gets worked through pain and suffering, which we don't have to teach our children that. But because we've learned through pain and suffering, we teach the children, oh, through pain and suffering, I recognize we have a soul. And to work that soul is to just give it recognition. It's that simple. The answer is recognition of the soul, so that when we raise our children, they recognize they have a soul and the self worth to develop that soul. That the importance is the soul, and everything else in the material world is an extra bonus gain, right? Because the focus is the soul. And so this is how we start raising our children, and we start developing them so they don't have to go through the pain and suffering that all of us have been seeking to find the soul. The within is the soul. It's within the body in this containment unit, and it moves in and out through this physicality. It works on multiple levels, and we've yet to really come to an understanding that that is the source of who we are. I don't say that we're a soul living a human experience, because I recognize we're in a machine and we're in a fucked up experience, and we better do something about it. We better get real sharp on our physicality and our mentality and our heart space, right? So we got a mind that is in between the physical body and the soul. So what we feed our body is how this operation is going to work of this physicality, and how the mind is going to work. And this is why I focus so much on food and what is in what we drink, what is in what we eat, and what is it going to do between our soul and our body, right? And so we're going to feed the body to help the mind to develop the soul. And that's what my food, sex, and harmony is going to be about. I'm going to keep promoting that until I actually do it, right? To actually do it. But it's going to be a good one. I'm going to show you guys stuff like this. See this little yellow, thick, viscous? mixture right here. This is one of the formulas that I make. And when I get to my food, sex, and harmony, I'm going to show you guys how to make these things for yourself to repair and regenerate the body. So I use this to regenerate my tissue. So from childbirth, I'm going to give you an example. You have stretch marks. Well, this breaks it all down, tightens the skin. You can feel the stitching. You can feel the work, you know, as it's going in there when and these are just nutrients. It's just nutrients, right? Simple formulas, very effective, but yet we don't know about them. We don't know about them because it is so simple, and pharmaceuticals can't own it because it's natural to nature. It's natural to nature, and so you can't put a patent on what's natural to nature because why would they want you to know about that? Is it better go to a plastic surgeon, right? So I'm gonna show you how to tighten that inner part of your thighs, that ass part that hangs in the middle. Because remember, I'm 51. I know what it's like for everything to fucking drop. So I had to rebuild, redo, regenerate, and restore it. I'm gonna show you the simple tricks I do to help with nutrition to regenerate my tissue. Make those thighs nice and tight on the inside, because no matter how much you exercise, you can't fix that with age, right? Because of age. And the stomach tissue after childbirth, no matter how much exercise you do, you can't fucking fix that unless you have something eating damage cartilage, because that's what this does. It eats and seeks out, I should say, it seeks out and eats damaged collagen. That's why it regenerates. Takes a nice long time, but every day you're gonna get better. Takes about 3 years, but every day you can get better. So it doesn't matter that I'm 51. I just keep getting better. Who does that? Every day you get older and worse. I'm showing, nope, we don't. I'm gonna show how to change that shit up. So that's what's gonna be on food, sex, and harmony. We're gonna get all of that working right. Those are things you can be expecting. And that I just leave you with that, you guys. This is Michelle Angelique, Truth and Integrity Warrior. Just telling you guys, thank you very much for always coming in here, especially you, Chuck. You're always here, soldier. Soldier, Chuck. That pink can always lets me know you're here. I appreciate that. You guys have a beautiful, blessed evening. I'll put some links down there in the description so you can see what's going on in the energy field for this week. And don't forget, overcome, override, push through the feelings that are put on us, because we know, we have a sense of knowing, and we ain't going out like that. Just period, we ain't going out like that. Always keep that in mind and keep pushing forward. All right. God bless you guys.